It's Friday night. You've been staring at your phone for 3 hours. You see the Instagram stories popping up. Your friends are out at dinner, laughing, clinking glasses. You weren't invited. Then, at 11:15 p.m., your phone buzzes. It's a text from the group's leader. Hey, change of plans. Someone bailed on the late night movie. You want to come? In that moment, a small part of you feels relieved to be included, but a larger part of you feels a familiar, hollow ache. You realize you weren't the first choice. You weren't even the second. You are the backup friend, the spare tire, the person who is only called when the primary plan falls through. Today, we are putting our stickman social circles under the microscope. We're going to explore the psychological mechanics of the backup friend dynamic, why certain people fall into this role, the silent damage it does to your brain, and how to stop being an option and start being a priority. Defining the backup dynamic. In social psychology, we often talk about social exchange theory. This theory suggests that all human relationships are formed by a subjective cost-benefit analysis. We stay in relationships where the benefits, like emotional support, fun, and status, outweigh the costs, like time, effort, and vulnerability. The backup friend dynamic is a fundamental breakdown of this theory. It is a state of social asymmetry. In a healthy friendship, the exchange is roughly 50-50. In a backup dynamic, you are giving 90%. You are the listener, the driver, the one who adjusts their schedule, while receiving only 10%. You are kept in the friendship orbit, but you are never allowed to land in the inner circle. Psychologically, this is different from being an introvert or a loner. A backup friend is someone who is part of a social group, but occupies a specific low-status niche. You are the safety net. You are there to ensure the primary friends never have to be alone, but you aren't the one they seek out when they have something important to share. The three archetypes of the backup friend. Not all backup friendships look the same. In the stickman psychology world, we see three main versions. 1. The convenience friend. You live the closest, you have a car, or you always have money. They don't want you, they want the utility you provide. 2. The emotional dump site. They only call you when they are in a crisis. You are their therapist for 2 hours, but the moment they feel better, they disappear back to their fun friends. 3. The gap filler. You are invited only when the group needs an even number for a table or a team. You are the human equivalent of a placeholder. Why does it happen? The psychology of the in-group. Why do groups do this? It often comes down to social hierarchies and status signaling. Within any social group, there is an in-group and an out-group. However, there is also a periphery. Humans are evolutionary programmed to seek high-status connections. Sometimes, a group will keep a backup friend around because it boosts the collective ego of the inner circle. Having someone who is always available makes the inner circle feel more important. But the bigger question is, why do you stay? The answer usually lies in intermittent reinforcement. This is the same psychological trick that makes gambling so addictive. If a friend ignored you 100% of the time, you'd leave. But every once in a while, they give you a breadcrumb of genuine attention. They invite you to something big. They tell you a secret. That one win releases enough dopamine in your brain to keep you waiting for months, hoping for another hit of inclusion. The psychological toll, the social exclusion. Brain being the backup friend isn't just annoying, it is physically and mentally taxing. Neurologically, the brain processes social rejection in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that registers physical pain. When you see your friends hanging out without you, your brain reacts as if you've been physically punched. Over time, being a backup friend leads to hypervigilance. You become obsessed with reading the room. You spend hours analyzing text tones and emojis, looking for signs of rejection. Erosion of self-worth. You start to believe that you are fundamentally not enough to be a first choice. The nice guy/girl trap. You try to become even more helpful. You think, if I just do more for them, they'll finally value me. This actually has the opposite effect. It lowers your perceived status and reinforces your role as a utility. Identifying the signs. The backup audit. It's time for a stickman psychology audit. Ask yourself these 4 questions about your social circle. 1. The invitation gap. Do they only invite you to things in the final hour? "Hey, we're at the bar. Come join us," versus, "Hey, let's grab dinner next Tuesday." 2. The loud silence. If you stopped texting first, would you ever hear from them again? 3. The information lag. Do you find out about major life events like breakups, new jobs, and moves through social media rather than a direct conversation? 4. The emotional imbalance. Do you know everything about their problems while they can't remember the name of your boss or what you did last weekend? If the answer to these is yes, you aren't a friend, you are a secondary resource. How to transition from backup to priority. So, how do we fix the stickman's social life? It requires a social rebrand. Step 1. Increase your scarcity value. In economics and psychology, things that are always available are perceived as low value. If you always say yes to the 11 p.m. backup text, you are teaching them that your time isn't valuable. Start saying no. Even if you have no plans, say, "I can't make it tonight, maybe next time." This forces the group to view your presence as a limited resource. Step 2. Stop the helper impulse. Stop being the one who always drives, always pays, or always organizes. See if the friendship survives when you aren't the one doing the heavy lifting. If the friendship collapses the moment you stop working for it, it wasn't a friendship, it was an unpaid job. Step 3. Diversify your social portfolio. The reason being a backup friend hurts so much is because you have all your eggs in one basket. You are waiting for this specific group to validate you. Start investing in other circles. Join a hobby group, a gym, or a class where you can start fresh as a new priority. Step 4. The direct conversation, the Hail Mary. If you truly value these people, try being vulnerable. "Hey, I've noticed I'm usually the last one to find out about plans, and it makes me feel a bit like a backup. I value our friendship and wanted to bring it up." A real friend will be horrified and try to change. A user will gaslight you and tell you that you're being too sensitive. Their reaction is all the information you need. Conclusion: you are not a spare tire. At the end of the day, your psychology is shaped by the people you surround yourself with. If you stay in a position where you are treated as an option, you will eventually start to treat yourself as an option. You deserve to be the person that someone is excited to see. You deserve to be the first name on the guest list, not the name added in the late night movie text. Breaking out of the backup role is terrifying because it often involves a period of being alone. But being alone is vastly superior to being surrounded by people who make you feel lonely. Understand your value, enforce your boundaries, and remember, a stickman is just a few lines, but those lines can be drawn anywhere you choose. Choose to draw them where you are respected. If you're trying to understand the deeper why behind these social patterns, you have to look at attachment theory. I highly recommend checking out Platonic by Dr. Marissa G. Franco. It is essentially the roadmap for modern friendship. She breaks down how your attachment style, whether you're secure, anxious, or avoidant, dictates why you might be settling for backup status and how to fix it. I've put a link to it in the description below. Thank you for watching this deep dive into social dynamics. If this video felt a little too relatable, it might be time to audit your inner circle and start prioritizing the person who matters most, you. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the backup friend dynamic, please hit the like button. It tells the algorithm that this kind of psychological content is important. And if you want to keep learning about the hidden mechanics of human behavior, make sure to subscribe to Stickman Psychology. We release weekly deep dives to help you navigate the complex world of human interaction with nothing but simple sketches and real science. Leave a comment below. Have you ever been the backup friend? How did you get out? Your story might be the aha moment someone else needs today. Until next time, keep looking beneath the surface. This is Stickman Psychology.